Scripture portions of the day. Day 348.
Matthew 28, OENT. But on the eve of the Sabbath, when the first of the week was drawing, Mary Magdalene and the other Miriam came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of Elohim Yehovah descended from heaven, and he rolled the stone from the entrance and sat upon it. And his appearance was like lightning, and his clothing was like white as snow. And from the dread of him, those who were keeping watch were shaken, and they became like dead men. But the angel answered and said to the women, Do not be afraid, for I know that you are seeking Yeshua, who was crucified. He is not here, for he is raised, just as he said. Come see the place in which our Elohim was laid. And go quickly, say to his disciples that he is risen from the grave, and behold, he goes before you to Galilee. There you will see him. Behold, I have told you. And they went quickly to the tomb with fear and with great joy, and they ran to tell his disciples. Behold, Yeshua met them when he said to him, Peace be with you. And they came and held his feet, and they worshipped him. When Yeshua said to them, Do not be afraid, go tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me. And as they were going, some of the guards came to the city, and they told the chief priests everything that had occurred. And they gathered to the elders and held council, and they gave not a few silver shekels to the guards. And they were saying to them, Say, his disciples came and stole in the night while he slept. And if it should be reported before the governor, we will persuade him, and we will relieve your concerns. But when they took the silver coins, they did as they were instructed them. And this story has gone out amongst the Judeans to this day. But the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Yeshua had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them doubted. And Yeshua spoke with them, and he said to them, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. In the manner which my Father has sent me, I am sending you. Therefore, go disciple all the nations and baptize them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Spirit of holiness, and instruct them to keep everything whatever I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you every day, even unto the end of time. Amen. Deuteronomy 32, Septuagint. Attend, O heaven, and I will speak. Let the earth hear the words of my mouth. Let my speech be looked for as the rain, my words come down as dew, as a shower upon the herbage, as snow upon the grass. I have called on the name of Jehovah. Assign me greatness to our Elohim. As for Elohim, his works are true, and all his ways are judgment. Elohim is faithful, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Just and holy is Jehovah. They have sinned, not pleasing him, spotted children, a froward and perverse generation. Do ye thus compensate Jehovah? Is the people thus foolish and unwise? Do not he himself, the Father, purchase thee, and make thee, and form thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of past ages. Ask thy father, and he shall relate to thee, thine elders, and they shall tell thee. When the Most High, divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the nations according to the number of the angels of Elohim. And his people Jacob became a portion of Jehovah. Israel was the line of his inheritance. He maintained him in the wilderness, in burning thirst and dry land, and he led him about, instructing him, kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle would watch over his brood, and yearns over his young, receives them, having spread his wings, and takes them up on his back. Jehovah led alone them. There was no strange God with them. He brought them on the strength of the land, and he fed them in the fruits of the field. They sucked honey out of the rock, and oil out of the solid rock. Butter of cows, milk of sheep, the fat of lambs and rams, and calves and kid, with fat of kidneys of wheat. He drank wine, the blood of the grape. So Jacob ate and was filled, and beloved one kicked. He grew fat, he became thick and broad. Then he forsook Elohim that made him, and departed from Elohim his Savior. They provoked me to anger with strange gods, and with their abominations they bitterly angered me. They sacrificed to devils, and not to Elohim, to gods whom they knew not. New and fresh gods came in, whom their fathers knew not. Thou hast forsaken Elohim that begotten thee, and forgotten Elohim who feeds thee. And Jehovah saw, and was jealous, and he was provoked by the anger of his sons and daughters, and said, I will turn my face from them, and I will show them what will happen to them in the last days. For it is a perverse generation, sons in whom there is no faith. And they provoked me to jealousy with which is not Elohim. They have exacerbated me with their idols, and I will provoke them to jealousy with them that are no nation. I will anger them with a nation void of understanding. For the fire has been kindled out of my wrath, and it shall burn to hell below. It shall devour the land and the fruits of it. It shall set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will gather evils upon them, and will fight with my weapons against them. They shall be consumed with hunger and the devouring of birds, and there shall be irremediable destruction. And I will send forth against them the teeth of wild beasts, and the rage of serpents creeping on the ground. Without the sword shall bereave them of children, and terror shall issue out of the secret chambers. The young man shall perish with the virgin, and the suckling with him who has grown old. I said, I will scatter them, I will cause their memorial to cease amongst men. Were it not for the wrath of the enemy, lest they should live long, lest the enemy should combine against them, lest they should say, our own high arm, and not Jehovah, has done all these things. It is a nation that has lost counsel, neither is there understanding in them. They have no sense to understand. Let them reserve these things against the time to come. How should one perish and pursue 1,000, and 2 round 10,000, if Elohim has not sold them, and Jehovah delivered them up? For their gods are not as Elohim, but our enemies are void of understanding. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and their vine branch of Gomorrah. Their grape is a grape of gall, and clusters one of bitterness. Their wine is a rage of serpents, and incurable rage of asps. Lo, are not these things stored up by me, and sealed among my treasures? In the day of vengeance I will recompense, when whoever their foot shall be tripped up. For the day of their destruction is near to them, and the judgments at hand are close upon you. For Jehovah shall judge his people, and shall be comforted over his servants. For he saw that they were utterly weakened, and failed in the hostile invasion, and were become feeble. And Jehovah said, where are their gods on whom they trusted, the fat whose sacrifices you ate, and you drank the wine of their blood offerings? Let them arise and help you, and be your protectors. Behold, behold, that I am he, and there is no God besides me. I kill and I will make to live. I will smite and I will heal, and there is none who will deliver out of my hands. For I will lift up my hand to heaven, and swear to my right hand, and I will say, I live forever. For I will sharpen my sword like lightning, and my hand shall take hold of judgment, and I will render judgment to my enemies, and I will recompense them that hate me. I will make my weapons drunk with blood. My sword shall devour flesh. It shall gut itself with the blood of the wounded, and with the captivity of the heads of their enemies that rule over them. Rejoice, ye heavens, with him, and let all the angels of Elohim worship him. Rejoice, ye Gentiles, with his people, and let all the sons of Elohim strengthen themselves in him. For he will avenge the blood of his sons, and he will render vengeance and recompense justice to his enemies, and reward them that hate him. And Jehovah shall purge the land of his people. And Moses wrote this song in that day, and taught it to the children of Israel. And Moses went in and spoke all the words of this law in the ears of the people, and he and Joshua the son of Nun. And Moses finished speaking to all Israel, and he said to them, Take heed with your heart to do all these words, which I testify to you to this day, which ye shall command your sons to observe and do all the words of this law. For it is no vain word to you, for it is your life. And because of this word you shall live long upon the land, it which ye go over the Jordan to inherit it. And Jehovah spoke to Moses in this day, saying, Go up to the mount of Abarim, this Mount Nabal, which is the land of Moab, over against Jericho, and behold the land of Canaan, which I give to the sons of Israel, and die in the mount whither thou goest, and be added to thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Or, and was added to his people, because you disobeyed my word among the children of Israel, and the waters of strife at Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin, because you sanctified me not among the sons of Israel. Thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not enter into it. Ezra 8, Septuagint. And these are the heads of their families, the leaders that went up with me, in the reign of Arthasaasta, king of Babylon. Of the sons of Phanes, Gerson, and the sons of Ithamar, Daniel, and of the sons of David, Attas. Of the sons of Sekaniah, and the sons of Phoros, and Zacharias, and with him the company of 150. And the sons of Pathmoab, and Eliana, the sons of Sariah, and with him 200 that were males. And of the sons of Zoth-Oez, Zechanias, the sons of Aziel, and with him 300 males. And the sons of Adon, and Obeth, the sons of Jonathan, and with him 50 males. And the sons of Elam, Esaias, the son of Athaliah, and with him 70 males. And the sons of Saphiatiah, and Zabadias, the son of Michael, and with him 80 males. And the sons of Joab, Abdii, the sons of Jeiel, and with him 280 males. And the sons of Baani, and Lethumuth, the son of Josephiah, and with him 160 males. And the sons of Babi, Zacharias, the sons of Babi, and with him 80 males. And the sons of Azgad, Jonanan, the son of Akatan, and with him 110 males. And the sons of Adokimam were the last, and these were their names: Elephatalata, Jeiel, Samariah, and with them 60 males. And the sons of Bagui, Uthai, Zabud, and with him 70 males. And I gathered them to the river from Cum to Evi. And we encamped there 3 days, and I reviewed the people and the priests, and found none of the sons of Levi there. I sent men of understanding to Eleazar, to Ariel, to Semaias, and to Alamnam, and to Jarib, and to Elathan, and to Nathan, and to Zacharias, and to Mesolalam, and to Joriam, and to Elnathan. And I forwarded them to the rulers with the money of the place. And I put word in their mouth to speak to their brethren, the Ethanim, and with the money of the place. And they should bring us singers for the house of Elohim. And they came to us, as the good hand of our Elohim was upon us, every man of understanding, to the son of Moeli, the son of Levi, the son of Israel. And at the commencement came his sons, and his brethren 18. And Asbiah and Azariah of the sons of Merari, his brethren and his sons 20. And Nethanim, whom David and the princes were appointed for the service of the Levites, there were 220 Naathanim, all were gathered by their names. And I proclaimed there a fast at the river Ari, that we should humble ourselves before our Elohim, to seek him a straight way for us, and for our children, and for all of our property. For I was ashamed to ask the king a guard and horsemen to save us from the enemy in the way. For we had spoken to the king, saying, The hand of our Elohim is upon all that seek him for good, but his power and his wrath are upon all that forsake him. So we fasted and asked Elohim concerning this, and he hearkened unto us. And I gave charge to 12 of the chief of the priests, to Sarai and Asbai, and 10 of their brethren with them. And I weighed to them silver, and the gold, and the vessels of the first fruits of the house of Elohim, which the king and his counselors, and his princes, and all of Israel that were found, had dedicated. I even weighed into their hands 650 talents of silver, and 100 silver vessels, and 100 talents of gold, and 20 golden bowls, weighing about 1,000 drachms, and superior vessels, fine shining brass, precious as gold. And I said to them, Ye are holy of Elohim, Jehovah, and the vessels of holy, and the silver and the gold are free will offerings to Jehovah Elohim of our fathers. Be watchful and keep them until you weigh them before the chief priests and the Levites, and the chiefs of the families in Jerusalem, at the chambers of the house of Jehovah. So the priests and the Levites took the weight of the silver and the gold and the vessels to bring to Jerusalem into the house of our Elohim. And we departed from the river Ari on the 12th day of the first month to come to Jerusalem, and the hand of Elohim was upon us, and delivered us from the hand of the enemy and the adversary in the way. And we came to Jerusalem and abode there 3 days. And it came to pass on the 4th day that we weighed the silver and the gold and the vessels in the house of Elohim into the hand of Merathoth, the son of Uriah, the priest, and with him was Eleazar the son of Phinehas, and with them Jozabad the son of Jesus, and Noadiah the son of Benaiah, the Levites. All things were reckoned by number and weight, and the whole weight was written down. At that time the children of the banishment came from the captivity, offered whole burnt offerings to Elohim of Israel, 12 calves for all Israel, 96 rams, 77 lambs, 12 goats for the sin offerings, all burnt offerings to Jehovah. And they gave the king's mandate to the king's lieutenants and the governors beyond the river, and they honored the people and the house of Elohim. Ezra 9, Septuagint. And when these things were finished, the princes drew near to me, saying, The people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land in their abominations. Even the Canaanites, the Ethite, the Pharisite, the Jebusite, the Ammonite, the Moabite, the Moserite, and the Amorite. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and their sons, and the holy seed has passed among the nations of the land, and the hand of the rulers has been first in this transgression. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garments and trembled, and plucked some of the hairs of my head and my beard, and sat down mourning. Then there assembled to me all that followed the word of Elohim of Israel, on account of the transgression of the captivity, and I remained mourning until the evening sacrifice. And at the evening sacrifice I rose up from my humiliation when I had rent my garments. Then I trembled, and bowed myself on my knees, and spread out my hands to Jehovah Elohim. And I said to O Jehovah, I am ashamed and confounded, O my Elohim, to lift up my face to thee, for our transgressions have abounded over our head, and our trespasses have increased even to heaven. From the days of our fathers, we have been in great trespass until this day, and because of our iniquities, we and our kings and our children have been delivered into the hands of the kings of the Gentiles by the sword, and by captivity, and by spoil, and the shame of faith, as to this day. And now our Elohim has dealt mercifully with us, so as to leave us to escape, and to give us an establishment in the place of his sanctuary, to enlighten his eyes, and to give a little quickening in our servitude. For we are slaves, yet in our servitude Jehovah our Elohim has not deserted us, and he has extended favor to us in the sight of the king of the Persians, to give us a quickening, that they should raise up the house of Elohim, and restore the desolate places of it, and to give us a fence in Judea and Jerusalem. What shall we say, our Elohim, after this? For we have forsaken thy commandments, which thou hast given us by the hand of the servants of the prophets, saying, the land into which you go to inherit is a land subject to disturbance by the removal of the people of the nations by their abomination, wherewith they have filled it from one end to the other by their uncleanness. Now give not your daughters to their sons, take not of their daughters for your sons, neither shall ye seek their peace or their good forever, that they may be strong and eat the good of the land, and transmit it in the inheritance of the children forever. And after all this come upon us because of our evil deeds and our great trespass, it is clear that it is none such as our Elohim. For thou hast lightly visited our iniquities and given us deliverance, whereas we have repeatedly broke thy commandments and intermarried with the people of the land. Be not very angry with us to our utter destruction, so that there should be no remnant or escaping one. O Jehovah Elohim of Israel, thou art righteous, for we remain, yet we escaped. As at this day, behold, we are before thee in our trespasses, for we cannot stand before thee on this account. Proverbs 26, Septuagint. As dew in harvest, as rain in summer, so honor is not seemingly for a fool. As birds and sparrows fly, so a curse shall not come upon any one without a cause. As a whip for a horse, and a goad for an ass, so is a rod for the simple nation. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou become like him. Yet answer a fool according to his folly, lest he seem wise in his own conceit. He that sends a message by a foolish messenger procures for himself a reproach from his own ways. As well take away the motion of his legs as transgression from the mouth of fools. He that binds up a stone in a sling is like one that gives glory to a fool. Thorns grow in the hand of a drunkard, and servitude in the hand of fools. All the flesh of fools endure much hardship, for their fury is brought to nothing. As when a dog goes to his own vomit and becomes abominable, so is a fool who returns in his wickedness to his own sin. There is shame that brings sin, and there is a shame that is glory and grace. I have seen a man who seemed to himself to be wise. A fool had more hope than he. A sluggard, when sent on a journey, says, there is a lion in the ways, and there are murderers in the streets. As the door turns on the hinges, so does a sluggard on his bed. A sluggard, having hid his hands in his bosom, will not be able to bring it up to his mouth. A sluggard seems to himself wiser than one who satisfactorily brings back a message. And he that lays hold on a dog's tail, so is he that makes himself the champion of another's cause. As those who need correction put fair words to men, that he will first falls with the proposal will be overthrown. So are all that lay wait on their own friends, and when they are discovered, say, I did it in jest. With much wood fire increases, and where there is not a double-minded man, strife ceases. A hearth of coals a wood of fire, railing man for the tumult of strife. The words of cunning knives are soft, but they smite even the inward parts of the bowels. Silver dishonestly given is to be considered a potsherd. Smooth lips cover a grievous heart. A weeping enemy promises all things with his lips, but in his heart he contrives deceit. Though thine enemies will entreat thee with loud voice, consent not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. He that hides enmity frames deceit, but being easily discerned, exposes his own sin in the public assemblies. He that digs a pit for his neighbor shall fall into it, and he that rolls a stone rolls it upon himself. A lying tongue that hates the truth, an unguarded mouth causes tumult.
Proverbs 27:1. Boast not of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what the next day shall bring forth. 2. Let thy neighbor, and not thine own mouth, praise thee, a stranger, and not thine own lips. 3. A stone is heavy, and sand cumbersome, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both. 4. Wrath is merciless, and anger sharp, but envy can bear nothing. 5. Open reproofs are better than secret love. 6. The wounds of a friend are more to be trusted than the spontaneous kisses of an enemy. 7. A full soul scorns honeycombs, but to a hungry soul even bitter things appear sweet. 8. As when a bird flies down from its own nest, so a man is brought into bondage whenever he estranges himself from his own place. 9. The heart delights in ointments and wines and perfumes, but the soul is broken by calamities. 10. Thine own friend, and thy father's friend, forsake not, and when thou art in distress go not into thy brother's house. Better is a friend that is near than a brother living far off. 11. Son, be wise, that thy heart may rejoice, and remove thou from thyself reproachful words. 12. A wise man, when evils are approaching, hides himself, but fools pass on, and will be punished. 13. Take away the man's garment, for a scorner has passed by, whoever lays waste another's goods. 14. Whosoever shall bless a friend in the morning with a loud voice, shall seem to differ nothing from one who curses him. 15. On a stormy day drops of rain drive a man out of his house, so also does a railing woman drive a man out of his own house. 16. The north wind is sharp, but it is called by name propitious. 17. Iron sharpens iron, and a man sharpens his friend's countenance. 18. He that plants a fig tree shall eat the fruits of it, so he that waits on his own master shall be honored. 19. As faces are not like other faces, so neither are the thoughts of men. 20. Hell and destruction are not filled, so also are the eyes of men insatiable. He that fixes his eye is an abomination to Jehovah, and the uninstructed do not restrain their tongue. 21. Fire is the trial for silver and gold, and a man is tried by the mouth of them that praise him. The heart of the transgressor seeks after mischiefs, but an upright heart seeks knowledge. 22. Though thou scourge a fool, disgracing him in the midst of the council, thou wilt still in no wise remove his folly from him. 23. Do thou thoroughly know the number of thy flock, and pay attention to thine herds. 24. For a man has not strength and power forever, neither does he transmit it from generation to generation. 25. Take care of the herbage in the field, and thou shalt cut grass, and gather the mountain hay. 26. That thou mayest have wool of sheep for clothing. Pay attention to the land, that thou mayest have lambs. 27. My son, thou hast from me words very useful for thy life, and for the life of thy servants.